thanks for your time.
Hi.
Can I get some, sorry to be traditional about things, but some injury latest? Gabriel obviously came off, didn't he? You said at the time you didn't think it was too bad. Can you now confirm that?
Yes, well, we'll have to wait and see after training. We don't know almost nothing today, so see how everybody is, but we weren't too concerned about him.
And that hasn't changed, your not being concerned hasn't changed too much in the meantime?
Yeah.
With Nkapia, what's the latest on him?
He will be available after international break, so we've been trying to everything as fast as possible, but this came too fast, and now we have the break, international break, and hopefully after that he will have a couple of sessions with the team and ready to go.
And with Kai, Noni and Gabby the same?
They're still out there.
Yeah. Can I just talk to you a little bit about the announcement of the England squad? MLS is in, Thomas Tuchel says this, is in the squad, despite not playing the Premier League minutes perhaps he would like to, because he described him as a perfect citizen around the place, and he wants that kind of person around the place. Won't always be enough, but this time it's enough. And he also feels the same way about Bukayo as well, because he's back in the squad despite being back from injury, not having a full 90 minutes, when many others in a similar situation haven't been called back into the squad. Does that make you proud that you've got these kind of characters that international managers want to have them as part of their squad?
Very much, and coming from someone like Thomas, which I know very well, for him to describe Miles in that way, I think credit to the boy, the families and everybody that has been part of his education, because that's very, very important as well. And Miles, as you said, he hasn't played probably of the minutes that he wanted, but he's professional in the way he's engaged with the team, with the national team. At least give you always the possibility to count on him. And the other day we have to play him in the Champions League, and I think he had a really good game.
And with Saka, he's brought him back into the England squad when others in a similar recovery situation haven't been called back in. Have you had a conversation with the England camp about managing his minutes?
Not yet, but we always talk, and Thomas and I, we are always very fluent communication, both ways. First of all, from my side, to give him feedback on where each of the players are, and after when they've been in camp as well, to reflect and learn how everything is gone. So I'm sure we will do that, and so far it's been very fluent and very positive communication.
So a great fight back late on at Newcastle, a brilliant performance and result all over the pitch and from the bench on Wednesday. The handbrake's off. Can you carry on like that against West Ham?
That's what we want, to continue to play and flow and dominate games in the manner that we are doing, and this is going to be a key fixture. Obviously we learned in the last 2 seasons as well, because we had 2 defeats against them here, and it's someone that we need to put right, and tomorrow is another opportunity to do that.
But with those 2 home defeats, obviously different story away from home, one by hatfuls away from home, but at home those 2 defeats back to back. I think you've only lost 4 of your last 42 home Premier League games, and half of them have been against West Ham. Have they become a bogey team?
Well, and that's actually the difficulty of that, and the game that we're going to have to play tomorrow as well, and with a new manager, and we know Nuno really well in the way he sets his team, so we expect a really tough match that's going to demand again 3 days later to come back and have the same performance to win the game.
And to win, go top of the table, even if it's only for a couple of hours, potentially though top of the table into the international break. How important would that be for building the rest of the season? Yeah,
it's about generating momentum, and there are periods in the season that they are capital, and tomorrow's game is a really important one for us, and that's why from the beginning we need to generate that, the stadium as well, and go for it, because after we have 2 weeks break with the international week.
And your 300th game as Arsenal manager?
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
58% win rate. You're the GOAT of Arsenal managers. How proud are you?
Continue to go. But the only thing that matters now is to win on Saturday again, and maintain the feeling and the things that we're doing really well. And hopefully many more to come.
Well, you won't make 3,000 because you'll be too old and I won't be around. But
let me do the calculations.
That's 110. But you could make 1,300. Is that the target?
The target is to win on Sunday, and things will come. So when I started on day 1, I had no clue for how long and with who I was going to be sitting in this chair. And the only thing that I can say is thank you, and I enjoy every minute of it, and for many more to come, hopefully.
Any separately?
Hi Mikel.
Hi.
Continuing with the theme of you now taking charge of 300 games come tomorrow, what would make the next 300 a success for you if you're here to see them?
Again, winning. So you said about the winning rate, yeah, the highest. And even with that winning rate, we haven't won major trophies. So that tells you the level, that what you have to do, what has been done before, at this level is not enough. You have to even much more, and it is much more difficult. That's what we'll try to focus on doing.
Looking back at the game against Newcastle, Gabriel getting that late winner, he's now scored 18 goals, the most of any defender in the league since his debut back in 2020. Just how proud are you of him, and also the fact that you can rely on not so traditional members of the team to chip in with key goals?
But that's a fundamental part of a central defender, dominating both boxes, and he does that probably like nobody else, and that's the joy of having him in the team.
It's your 300th game in charge tomorrow. It's Bukayo Saka, if he plays, 200th Premier League appearance. Give us your thoughts on his progression since you've been here and how key he is for this team.
While you were doing your answer, I visualized Bukayo playing as a left back. That's the first thing came to my mind against Bournemouth on my first game. So very far from the pitch, very far in his journey, very far as well personally, and the person that he's becoming, the role he's got in the team. And yeah, we had a great journey together, and it's been a joy to see that every single day.
And finally, with West Ham tomorrow, you've spoken about the 2 defeats when you've met them at home in the previous 2 seasons. A win over them, would that show the growth in this Arsenal team when you think about points dropped in the last couple of seasons?
Yes, there are always moments when you have dropped them, and that certainly has been one of those. And at home, we know the form that we need and the amount of games that we have to win to reach the target that we have. And as again, tomorrow is going to be a key match for us.
Thank you, best of luck.
Thank you.
Ian, talk to me.
Hi Mikel, how are you?
Hi, Ian.
Going back to the 300 games, I was at Nottingham Forest last night. The manager there's had 6 games, and already some of the crowd are saying we want you sacked because you're not winning matches. 300 games in 5 years. You are bucking the trend in terms of football management in this country. How are you doing it?
Well, again, I feel very privileged. I'm really enjoying what I do with the people that I do it, and we know in our job is about winning a lot of football matches if you want to stay in the job. And the other one is why we are doing this, make sure as well that we enjoy our profession, because it's got, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful things that you can experience in life, and trying to do both things at the same time.
You've massively changed the culture though since you came here. I mean, you only have to look at Bukayo Saka's 200th Premier League game tomorrow. You've got Managerial, you've got Max Dowman, you've got Miles Lewis-Skelly, you've got academy players, you've got some of the best players from around Europe now playing for you, and they're all at a good young age. How difficult has that been in 5 years to change that culture?
Well, if you see the rotation in the squad, it's been phenomenal. But at the end, you get to where you get, thanks to everybody that has been in the journey. And some people, they've been for 6 months, some others for 3 years, some others for 18 months, but they all been capital and very important. Sometimes to help the team, sometimes as well to learn you the direction that you have to take in, and what is the moment as well to change and reevaluate the things that you are doing. And very grateful for everybody that has been part of this journey, because they've all been very important.
You said you want to win trophies for the next 300 games to be a success. Do you need to be a bit more lucky as a manager or a bit better as a manager? Because I remember Sven-Göran Eriksson once saying it's better to be a lucky manager than a good manager.
Well, probably you need a bit of both in many senses, because with the amount of points that we have generated, of the win rate that you just discussed, all the managers have won titles, big titles. We have won titles, but we won the biggest ones, and that's it. And sometimes in the sports, you have to congratulate to somebody else who's been even better than you. You know, you can be really, really good or excellent, but somebody has been extraordinary. And this league is the level that demands, but certainly we're going to try to get to that.
And finally, you'll be facing Emirates Stadium tomorrow. A couple of weeks ago, it had been Graham Potter, a man I know you know well and rate highly.
Yeah.
Again, you must feel, or do you feel sorry for Graham, what's happened this year, and how different is the challenge facing you now?
Yeah, a little word for Graham, because I think he's an exceptional manager, and he's done that in various contexts in his career for a long time, and then as a man, and just talking to a lot of players and people that have had the joy to work with him, the way they describe him and the time that they have together. So yeah, sad to see him go, especially with some of the things that happened in social media and a lot of things that I think, in my opinion, to have the best league in the world, we have to improve, because if we have to have the best league in the world, we have to make sure that the people that are so important in our league, they're taken care in the right way. And I think all as a whole, I think we can do better on that, and hopefully we can learn from that. And then with Nuno, yeah, another top manager that he was. We played a few weeks ago here against him with a different team, and a top coach as well with a lot of experience and a really difficult game ahead.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Simon Standard.
Mikel, you made a big push on contracts over the past 6 months, tying players down. Yuri Timber's the latest to be reported in talks. Is that a perfect example of what you speak about, where players deserve to be rewarded for their performances on the pitch, because his form, particularly in the start of the season, has been so good?
Yes, 100%, and especially the players that they want to be with us, and we want to attach our futures with them. And Yuri is a really good example of someone that, especially under very difficult circumstances, with a very early injury in his career, with a really difficult injury, the way he's come back and what he's doing for the team, it's phenomenal. And I think it's a really good example of another one that hopefully is going to have a long career with us.
And just on Victor and Martin, they haven't been able to play together very much, but we saw on Wednesday that connection, which sometimes players have. You know, think of Bukayo and Martin, you think years ago sort of Pires and Henry. Have they got an understanding that you've seen in these first few months that they sort of know what each other wants and how to play together?
Well, as you say, we haven't seen enough for different circumstances, especially because Martin hasn't been much available this season for different reasons. But yeah, there is something, and as well they have that personal chemistry, and hopefully with more time on the pitch and more understanding, that will flourish as well.
Okay, James, Athletic.
Hi Mikel, just on Martin, obviously had a great game against Olympiacos, and I was struck afterwards in the press conference you spoke about how you give him the freedom to do that creative job. I just wondered, like, as a manager, when you have a sort of clear tactical model and identity, how do you find the space for the individual freedom within that?
Well, I think the other way around. I think is you have to create the system and the structure around the qualities of the players, and with our attacking players especially, we try to do that. Even with our defenders, we know certain qualities that we have in that defensive line, and we will pick certain ways to press or certain ways to defend or force people in relation to where they want to end. And with Martin, it's very clear that we want the ball in certain areas with him, because when we're able to do that, he's a real threat.
And we saw again on the second goal, you know, Bukayo scores from the left channel rather than the right. Is that kind of part of a tactical design, or is that a case of you empowering players to make those calls in the moment on the pitch? Well,
the one with Bukayo, we decided in the last few minutes to change sides for two different reasons, and because him on a natural foot in that side, especially against teams that they are constantly pushing their fullbacks and the space is wide, is a real threat.
Tom?
Hi Mikel, just following on from what Simon said about Jurian, very quick question. For you, is he the most underrated player in the Premier League at the moment?
I don't know, because I rate him a lot, so I don't know how people rate him, but hopefully a lot, because when you talk about a total player, he has almost every quality that you want from a defender.
I've been racking my brains a bit about how to word this question. There seems to be a lot of talk at the moment about how many minutes Ethan and Miles get in particular. Mm-hmm. And over the last 5 years, the squad has developed and got stronger. Have we got to a point now where the minutes that they're getting are probably what's expected for a player at that age in a team as competitive as Arsenal?
I don't know, but I don't work with expectations. I work with what the boys can provide in the context that the team is playing in that moment. And Ethan has played 2 games in the Premier League very early because of an injury of Martin as well. He played in other competitions, and he will play more. And with Miles it's the same. But sometimes it's form, sometimes it's the fact that we want to do certain things in relation to the opposition, and that's it. What I want is that they are in the state that they are when they have to be used, and when they are playing, whether it is to start games or for a few minutes, they are fully ready, and both of them, they've been really good at that.
Okay, finally, that's live. Thank you.
Hey, Bukayo here, right? Seeing that Saka, Rice and Eze on the bench on Wednesday, do you think moving forward we should be getting used to seeing them on the bench, or your big stars on the bench? Do you think we should get used to that?
Well, I mean, with the schedule that we have to play Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. So the last time we played 3 games in 7 days is a while ago. Some of the players haven't played ever 3 games in 7 days. So we need to manage that because they come from a period of a lot of load. We had 2 very, very high games. So if the schedule continues to that and they don't give us an extra day, we're going to have to do that, yeah.
And seeing now you've got a very strong bench and a very strong starting 11, could this be the year where it clicks now?
Well, I think it's been clicking for a while. It clicks means to win it, then hopefully it is the year. Yeah.